Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to talk about how to uncover the business value of managed services. My name is Christina Bergman, and I'm going to help facilitate today's event. I'd just like to remind everyone to please remain muted throughout the presentation. And as usual, all attendees will receive a copy of the webinar via email. I'd like to also introduce Kurt Haller. He's the VP of Avada here with Avada Business Cloud. And Kurt's all set, so go ahead, Kurt, take it away.
Thanks, Christina, and hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today. This is Kurt Haller, and I am the Vice President for the Avada Business Cloud. The Avada Business Cloud is our service offering that provides hosting of Oracle value chain planning applications like Demantra and ASCP, and provides managed services around these applications to clients regardless of where those applications may reside. So if you have them deployed on-premise or in the Avada Business Cloud or even in someone else's cloud, we provide managed services around those applications. Those of you who are not familiar with Avada, we are a consulting firm focused on helping manufacturing and distribution companies improve their business through Oracle technology. We provide a broad range of services built on a unique blend of skills and experience working with Oracle Cloud, J.D. Edwards, and value chain planning applications. One of the things that makes us different is that we are a company of practitioners. Our team is made up of former planners, analysts, operations managers, and supply chain executives who've worked in the industry for an average of over 20 years before becoming consultants with Avada. They know what it's like to live in our clients' shoes. They understand the demands of running a supply chain and how they need to work to improve a business from a process perspective, from a people perspective, and from a technology perspective. Many of them in industry before coming to Avada actually used Oracle technology during their day job. They've learned what works and what doesn't, so you can take advantage of their learning to reach your goals more quickly and more effectively. So let's get started. As a supply chain consulting firm, Avada is involved with companies across a wide range of industries, from industrial manufacturing to consumer packaged goods, high-tech to retail, life science to oil and gas, and with firms of all different sizes in countries all around the world. And one of the things that we experience really across the board when implementing new solutions is this collective cheer and a pat on the back when we go live with a project. And certainly this is worth celebrating. But as everybody knows, or soon finds out, go live is not the end, but it's actually just the beginning of the journey. The system is up and running, but now the real work begins of using the tools to improve on-time delivery in full, reduce inventories, and achieve other important business goals, which is why you bought the system to begin with. And so supply chain is live, but we're not done yet. Forecasts have to be generated, plans have to be run, events cause things to change, plans have to be run again. Planning must be monitored to keep the supply chain running smoothly. Skilled resources are required to facilitate adoption and to maintain the solution that's been implemented. Having the right support infrastructure in place and the right people in the right roles improves efficiency and responsiveness. And as we all know, it's less costly and disruptive to maintain something than to wait for it to break and then go through the ensuring fire drill to get it fixed. When we look at a typical project life cycle, we see the peak of expectations where people think the new solution will do everything, even making my morning coffee for me. And this is followed by the trough of disillusionment as the project constraints around scope and budget come into play, along with the inevitable technical challenges that creep up. Eventually, the project stabilizes and go live is reached. And while this can be a cause for celebration, again, it's really just the beginning of the journey to capture the business benefits for which you invested in the solution in the first place. From our perspective, the number one reason companies don't realize the full ROI on a supply chain software project is due to the lack of post-go-live maintenance and support and evolution of not only the technology, but also the people and the process. Here, managed services can have a significant positive impact on the trajectory of that adoption curve coming out of go live, leading us to bigger gains and a faster return on investment by providing the right types of support services. So why do companies turn to managed services? One of the biggest reasons is to improve productivity by bringing in talent, skills, and experience that existing employees don't possess and can't easily or cost-effectively be developed in-house. Companies may not have the necessary skills. It may be a new application that no one knows or doesn't know well enough yet. Maybe there was a resource there and someone left the organization. They took a different job with another company. Maybe they won the lottery. Someone was promoted. They haven't trained a replacement yet. There's all kinds of reasons why companies don't have the right talent. Or perhaps they're having a hard time acquiring the right skills. Maybe they can't find the right qualified candidates to help them internally. Maybe they're having some compensation issues. Perhaps it's geographic undesirability. It's hard to get people in the location that you're at. There may be just a general shortage of skills in your particular area, or even things like a freeze on adding new headcounts. Also, there are lots of skills that are only needed part-time. For example, when you're implementing, Demantra, you need to have a full Demantra, an experienced Demantra DBA. But a lot of companies don't need that person full-time. And so it doesn't always make sense to go out and hire a full-time equivalent person with some very high-level skills and the high-level compensation that goes along with it when you're only going to utilize that person for 15% or 20% of their time. Excuse me. Companies also want to allow their people to do what they do best. Chances are you didn't hire someone just for their maintenance and support skills. Companies want to maximize the investment they've made in human capital by deploying it to where it's best used. Managed services have been proven to reduce the number of incidents and the duration of incidents over time, as expert resources and knowledge are gained by servicing many clients over time is exploited by the service provider. Managed services also provide workforce flexibility, makes it easier to scale up and to scale down. As you're adding resources to support a global rollout, maybe they're only needed for the course of the next year, or maybe for a short duration to cover a new global region. It's easier to scale resources down when business conditions dictate or there's a change in new application direction due to new requirements, new technology, or maybe even M&A type activities. As businesses hurdle into the digital era, technology is no longer the sole domain of the IT organization. Just as companies are transitioning from on-premise IT to the cloud, they're also transitioning from on-premise human capital to the cloud, and we call that managed services. Now, first there were SaaS applications, software as a service, and now cloud. And this has really given rise to point applications that have been outside kind of the realm of IT. And therefore, there's really a greater need for collaboration between IT and the business. You know, IT is always been about control, implementing standards and common software suites to reduce both complexity as well as costs. And in this new world of cloud and SaaS, you know, IT is concerned about losing control again. And therefore, we're seeing this shift in the market. And IT is shifting from this kind of do-it-yourself approach to that of more of a service broker, where they're trying to anticipate and meet the business technology needs from a variety of different business models, whether it be through on-premise or cloud or some hybrid combination of those. This service broker approach enables organizations to be more flexible by minimizing investments needed to build and maintain the computing infrastructure, and also by moving to the cloud and potentially minimizing the need for specialized IT staff and each application and system by moving to managed services. So what are companies looking for in a managed services provider? Research from Frost & Sullivan provides us with some very interesting insight to what companies are looking for. When you look at a survey that was done and the research results, one of the things that kind of jumps out is the high percentage of respondents who are looking for a managed services provider that doesn't just focus on the technology. They're looking for someone to focus and align on business outcomes and business priorities. You know, it's not enough to know that my server was up all night. I mean, if you look at the relatively low priority placed on technology SLAs here from the survey, but you know, companies want to know, did my plan complete successfully overnight? Do my planners have access to the information that they need when they get in this morning to react to whatever events that happened halfway around the world while we were sleeping last night? Another, you know, I think another interesting point when you look at the survey results is really the factor that that low price is quite low on the list of requirements. And I think that what that really shows is that if the managed services that you're buying don't align with your business, then the price you're paying is really irrelevant. So solid technical skills are really a baseline requirement, whether you're working on a computer system or working on a car engine. But no matter how good you are with a wrench, you only get so far if you don't know how to get behind the wheel and drive the car. Even then, the ability to drive isn't always enough. You need to know where you're going and the best route to take, and if you want to use your time efficiently and spend the least amount of money on fuel. And while you're on the way, you're going to run into traffic congestion, accidents, road closures, bad weather. You may begin to hear funny noises coming from, you know, under the hood or behind the car. You know, the engine light can come on. All kinds of other potential problems that you need to be prepared for and to react to. Managed services works the same way. Understanding not only what the technology does, but how it is used and why it works the way that it does accelerates the problem resolution process, enables providers to get at the root cause of the issue to prevent future incidents, and importantly, gives users a greater level of trust that the information coming out of the system can be relied upon to run the business. An understanding of the forecasting and planning process, it's like having a map. You know, if I think I took a wrong turn, what do I do? This ability to field inquiries coming from users about something in a plan that doesn't quite look right, asking questions to understand the context of the inquiry, where is it coming from, and being able to analyze and pinpoint it Could it be from a configuration error, a setup error, maybe a software bug? But in many cases, it could be something, it could be a problem with the data coming from the ERP system, or maybe it's from a trading partner or even a customer. Understanding the end-to-end process leads to faster and better outcomes. And so I'd like to introduce you to Avada's managed service offerings. Avada has two main offerings. We have a maintenance offering, which provides preventive maintenance and monitoring of supply chain solutions. And we also have a support offering, which offers functional and technical support of the solutions. Managed services from Avada are available with different service level agreements to align with your business needs. So from business hours, 5 days a week, to off-hours support, to 24/7 by 365 global operations, we can tailor our SLA to meet your exact requirements. So if you look at the types of tasks that are offered within Avada Managed Services, so from a maintenance perspective, we have things like application maintenance, application patching, monitoring for availability, monitoring for performance, and capacity, making sure that the systems are performing to the level that's required to run the business. We monitor batch jobs. So did my statistical engine run overnight that we were expecting? Did my ASCT plan run the way that it was expecting? So we monitor those plans, we monitor those jobs, and can take corrective action if something doesn't run properly. There's routine database administration, scheduled database maintenance. We look at things like table spaces to make sure that there's enough adequate room there for running the applications and the data. We provide backup for both the database as well as the archive logs. And of course, event notification and escalation. So if something doesn't look right and something doesn't run right, we notify our clients and we notify our support team to take corrective action right away. On the support side, you'll notice we have functional and technical support. So it's not just the people that know the underlying bits and bytes of the software, but it's really understanding how the software works. And probably the most important aspect of support is supply chain troubleshooting, because what we find with clients that we talk to is there's a problem or an issue or a concern, but they're really not sure where it's coming from. I don't think it's a hardware issue, but it could be a software issue. I don't know if it's a bug or a configuration issue. Maybe it's bad data, or maybe it's good data, but it just doesn't seem to fit. The client often has a very difficult time understanding, and this is where a lot of the value from Avada Managed Services comes into play, is we can really help clients to diagnose and analyze those issues, look at where the root causes of those are coming from, perform those corrective actions, test them, and get people on their way so that the systems and processes are running most efficiently. We can also manage Oracle service requests so that if there is an actual issue with the software, we can enter that request with Oracle and manage it on the client's behalf. And of course, we do this within the realm of the service level agreement that we have with the client. So if it's 9x5 or 24x5 or 24x7, we manage these processes, these services within that SLA. From a managed services structure standpoint, if you look at, this is kind of how our managed services are set up. So you'll see We have kind of Avada managed services in the middle, and this is our dedicated managed services team. So as a customer, you'll have different subject matter experts, super users. You'll have your regular users. You'll have folks on the IT team, and a lot of our clients actually have their own customer support desk that will work with their users to try and answer questions and resolve issues. And those might be functional and or technical issues. But when you need extra help as a client, that's when you come to Avada. And we can take advantage of our dedicated managed services team providing functional expertise, technical expertise, as well as infrastructure expertise around the applications and the technology stack. The other thing that you get with Avada is in addition to this managed services team, is really access to a much larger pool of subject matter experts. As many of you may know on this call, Avada is a global consulting firm specializing in value chain planning applications. We work with hundreds of clients across lots of different industries, and we have a lot of functional and technical experts in different areas. And so we make this, we have these consultants, and we make them available through our managed services team, so that if an issue comes up and we're having challenges trying to diagnose that issue or to resolve that issue, we're able to reach back into our pool of experts and bring additional people to the table to help us resolve based on our global experience. This is a huge benefit for our clients because it really gives them access to a much deeper and broader pool of resources than they might otherwise have access to. And when needed, we have the ability, again, to reach back into Oracle to help to work with Oracle services or to work with Oracle support to help get these help get the service requests completed. So our managed services team, if you look at our team, we have a fairly significant resource pool with lots of different skill sets, from technical to functional to supply chain. They're multilingual in multiple countries. And again, you'll have an assigned account manager who's really responsible for working with you and making sure that we have a tight working relationship to be able to understand your requirements and how those translate into the managed services that Avada provides. We offer support for all of the Oracle supply chain modules from both a functional standpoint as well as a technical standpoint. And as an organization, we've integrated value chain planning with lots of other ERP systems and lots of other systems that are out there. For example, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, SAP, Hyperion. We've integrated with lots of different solutions and have the ability to help customers really answer their questions through those various types of integration. So if we look at what are the real needs to get working with Avada around managed services. You know, I think the thing that screams out here is it's cost-effective access to expert support. So the Avada managed services team, works with our clients to really help them streamline and troubleshoot what's going on in their supply chain. And we have the ability to help you from on up to a 24/7 by 365-day-a-year service. We can help you discover and fix problems before they negatively affect your business. And it really helps you to focus on running your business and not that underlying technology. Lets you do what you do best and lets Avada focus on what we do best. It's this kind of increased efficiency that allows you to really help your users focus on planning and not so much time working with the technology. Clients that use managed services from Avada have minimum downtime because of the proactive maintenance. Also just due to the fact that we're able to accelerate the problem resolution process and get things done much more quickly. And I think, lastly, customers with Avada's managed services have seen that they're able to really control and reduce their operating costs on a month-to-month basis with the flat fee options. So we are here to you need us. I'd like to now introduce you to one of our clients, a company called WireCo World Group, based out of Kansas City. WireCo is an industrial manufacturer of things like wire rope, electromechanical cables, synthetic cables, and netting. They're very big in the oil and gas industry, both in exploration as well as extraction. They're big in mining. They're the cables that are used in the pulley systems on cranes. Chances are good those are WireCo products. Their synthetic ropes are used in maritime for tying up large, cruise ships and container ships to the dock. They're used in fishing. WireCo is one of the largest manufacturers of synthetic fish nets used globally by commercial fishing fleets. They're also used in the structural applications. So for things like bridge building. So the new Bay Bridge in the San Francisco area uses structural cables from WireCo for support. They have manufacturing operations in the U.S., Mexico, Brazil, France, Germany, Portugal, Netherlands, and Poland. So they're truly a global manufacturer. We got involved working with WireCo sometime after they'd been live with their Oracle production scheduling software system, and we got involved with WireCo from a managed services perspective because they were running into some challenges. As we began to look at their environment to try and understand how we could best help them and what the right types of managed services would be to offer WireCo, we found first off that the solution they had was really kind of a poorly designed solution. Avada wasn't involved in the original development of their solution, and there were things done and approaches taken that certainly we wouldn't recommend, and that we've seen in many of other client implementations that really wouldn't work. We also found that there really wasn't very good documentation, either of the configuration of the solution or how the integration is supposed to work with the ERP system. Now, the folks that had originally developed the solution and helped WireCo to implement it were, of course, long gone, and they were faced now with someone there who was kind of a super user and who'd been able to keep the solution together. This person was now retiring, and so suddenly WireCo found themselves with these difficult to maintain and support solutions and no real resources. So they turned to Avada based on our knowledge of Oracle value chain planning, our knowledge of Oracle production scheduling, and our reputation with providing managed services, quality, maintenance, and support services to clients. So we came in, we did an assessment of their environment. We looked at where some of the potential issue points could be, and we helped to really document what the solution looked like so that we could offer the right types of support for them when issues could potentially come up in the future. In doing that, we were able to really apply some of our functional knowledge, first of all, to help them attain better schedules for their factories. But one of the things that happened is several months into our engagement in managed services, the ERP team at WireCo needed to make some changes to the ERP system, and unfortunately, those changes to the ERP system caused the integration between ERP and production scheduling to stop working the way that it was designed. So they were having a very difficult time getting production schedules out for the plants. So there was the alarm bells went off in WireCo. It was all hands on deck because without the ability to schedule production, they're looking at missed deliveries to clients, and they're looking at significant increase in costs. And so Avada was able to react with a very exact SLA that we had in place with WireCo. We brought in multiple resources that were able to work to, first of all, fix the solution so that they could get a production schedule up and running, and then we're able to spend some time afterwards to really go in and diagnose the issue, dive in, and understand from a very detailed level what was causing the problem. So we went through that root cause analysis. We were able to come out of that with about 20 different recommendations that we were able to put in place that helped them to stabilize the environment and to begin using production scheduling again on a more consistent go-forward basis. And we had in discussions with the CIO and the CEO of WireCo, they told us that it was really helpful that Avada's managed services were there, because without them, they were facing probably $1 million costs for lost production and customer commitments that they would not have been able to meet without having the solutions in place. So a very interesting story working with WireCo. Now, I'm sure everyone who's listening today has heard about Oracle's cloud offerings, and you're probably trying to understand what those potentially mean for your business. Well, Avada Advisory and Assessment Services can work with you to review your business and your technology objectives and create a roadmap that gets you to the cloud when and where it makes the most sense for your business. So when you begin to transition to the cloud, Avada Managed Services can be there to help you. We can take over current activities that are being provided by your employees or your team, freeing them up to work on new cloud initiatives to support your business. So we can kind of backfill from that perspective. We also, as a business, offer cloud managed services. So as you are moving to cloud, if you need some additional help running the new cloud software, Avada can offer managed services from that perspective as well. So how do we get started? I think this is what a lot of clients ask us is, how can we best start working with Avada on managed services? And so what we would like to offer is a complimentary managed services assessment, where our team will come in and first of all help you to evaluate what does your current environment look like. So we'll take a look at from a value chain planning perspective. What applications do you have running? What versions of those applications are you on? What are the integration touch points that you have with ERP systems or other systems? Are you integrated with Hyperion? Are you integrated with a CRM system? What types of collections are currently being run and how are they working? How is the technology stack currently set up? What versions are there? what are your own internal resources that are available to support that system. So we will come in and do an evaluation and then provide you with a summary report, really an overview of what your current environment looks like, where the strengths are, where the opportunities are, and where some of those risks are. And then we will come and provide an on-site review, really to meet with you and the executive team at your company to help you understand those findings and what those recommendations might be, where we think managed services could be of most benefit for your organization. So with that, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. As we had mentioned, there will be a full conference pass to the Modern Supply Chain Experience conference that's given out. We have a drawing coming up after this webinar, and we'll be notifying everyone via email of who wins that conference pass. In addition to that, you'll also receive a copy of this presentation via email. So again, thank you. If you have more questions or need more information, feel free to call Avada, to email Avada, or connect with Avada through social media. Again, appreciate your time today. Everyone, have a great day, and thank you very much.